close your eyes real quick and let me bring you back to 2011, the prime age of gaming where you didn't need a console like an Xbox or a PS3 to play the newest AAA titles. You didn't need a fancy computer with a fancy graphics card in it. All you needed was an iPhone 4, hey, even an iPhone 3 in your pocket, and you could play Rage. Well, I guess all you could play was Rage, not any other AAA titles at the time, but do you know about Rage? Because that's the game we're talking about today, everyone. So, a lot of you might not actually know about Rage, but it had a pretty interesting development history, and it has a pretty good story, and it was published and developed by some pretty big people, and I just want to talk about it. You know, I got this game when I was gaming on my Surface Pro because I heard it could run on potatoes, and it did. It ran really great on my Surface Pro. Wonder why? Because it was released on iPhones. But today I just want to talk about some interesting stuff, you know, tell you a little bit about its development history, tell you a little bit about its story, and tell you what I like about it. And it shouldn't be too long of a video, but if you enjoy Rage, if you enjoy Mad Max, this game is like exactly like Mad Max. It's like they made a Mad Max game before they made a Mad Max game. But if any of this sounds interesting and you want to hear about a AAA game that was released on consoles, computers, and iPhones, which doesn't sound very crazy now, but think about at the time. This was being released on phones that just got an app store. That's insane to me. I'll get into all of that later. This intro's droning on long enough. Let's just get right into this video. So, going back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the video, Rage was actually released back in 2011, and I just want to point out that I don't actually think that 2011 was the prime age of gaming. I don't even honestly remember what came out in 2011. I remember games coming out in certain years, and you look back and it's like, oh my gosh, I was 5 years off, so the years fly by for me, and I could care less when a game was released. The only games that have really been cemented in time for me would have to be all of these games being released today that are just terrible. Terrible. Awful. Awful. Not even because they're bad games. Half of them are okay games. It's just they're released in terrible states. But that's neither here nor there. Rage was released on an iPhone, so let's talk about optimization if you want to talk about optimization. Sorry, that topic just gets me heated. So back in 2011, ID Software was developing a game, and if you know ID Software, they're the big boys who created Doom, Wolfenstein, you know ID Software, and they were actually developing a new game, a new story, not the same ones as Wolfenstein and Doom, and they were developing Rage back in around 2009, and they actually had planned for EA to publish the game, which gotta be glad that EA didn't publish the game. EA's not doing too good nowadays. ID was actually acquired by ZeniMax. If you know ZeniMax, they're the parent company to Bethesda, and ZeniMax was actually the company that was bought by Xbox. That was the big Bethesda buyout by Xbox. They actually bought ZeniMax, the whole parent company. So ZeniMax acquired ID back in 2009, and EA was actually removed from the marketing and sales, and ID left Bethesda to publish it, probably because they had a new relationship through ZeniMax. And just as a funny quick Easter egg note, while talking about marketing and sales, as a big marketing tactic, a few of you might not know what Rage is, but a few of you might have seen Rage. So Rage was actually put in Breaking Bad. You can see it played in a few scenes. I'll throw them up on screen. And then with Breaking Bad showing Rage footage in the show, they actually ended up putting a couple of Breaking Bad Easter eggs into Rage, which I do find funny. That was just one of the marketing tactics, along with a funny Easter egg that they threw in. Another thing with the development and release of the game is, as I said, it was released on iOS devices. That's right. iPhone 4s and iPhone 3GSs. You could play this game on your iPhone. It was a AAA title. That might not sound crazy. I said this already. That might not sound crazy because you have these crazy iPhone 14s with OLED displays and Apple chips that are stronger than computers from 5 years ago in your cell phone. And it doesn't sound so crazy that you're playing games on your phone. Like back then, the iPhone was not released with an app store. So this was shortly after iPhones even got an app store. They ended up getting Rage. Now, I never played it, and I'm sure it's not anywhere near the quality that we got on consoles and PCs, but let's be honest. The fact that they went out and put it on a phone, you'd never see that. We can't even get optimized games today. And back then they were like, yeah, you want a game? You want a game? We'll give you a game. And we'll put it on phones so you can play it on the subway while you're going to work. Why not? I have to pull my Steam Deck out to play mobile. They were like, nah, you can do it on your iPhone. And that's just insane to me, and I won't drone on that point anymore, but like, come on, that's amazing. So, as I also said, ID released this game, and ID is pretty much known for Doom and Wolfenstein. They've done a lot of other stuff, but those are their big games, and they wanted to branch out and start another big franchise, you know, kind of how Bethesda's doing their Starfield thing. They've had Fallout and Skyrim for so long that they want to throw in a new game, have a triplet. That's what ID wanted to do, but I don't think it succeeded in the way they wanted, but they did get a sequel, Rage 2, and it's one of those doomy feeling games. You know, you run a gun, you gun down people, but at the same time, it has that feel to it where it's different enough that if you played the game, you wouldn't be wiser. You might not know that it's made by the people who made Doom and Wolfenstein. And, you know, I think talking about development aside, let's just get into the story, because I feel like not a lot of people know the story of Rage. I never knew about Rage until a couple years ago. I picked it up, as I was saying, and it was really fun, and I was really surprised that I'd never heard of it, and I was really surprised to hear about the history that it had. That's enough of that. Let me tell you what the story is about. The story isn't your typical wasteland plot. It's not the nukes fell. No. So, way in the future, you know, way in the year 2029. Wait a minute. Let me check my mind. Oh my goodness. That's in like 4 or 5 years. This is about to happen to us. Oh no. But in 2029, an asteroid by the name of 99942 Apophis hits Earth, and years later, in 2135, there's a whole Mad Max situation going on, and you're a Marine, a space Marine, who wakes up from cryogenic sleep, you know, your Fallout 4 situation, but a little more voluntary. You wake up in these labs called arcs, and you have to go on your way, you know, looting corpses and fighting cannibals. That's kind of your generic wasteland situation, but the cause of the wasteland is new, it's different, and ID always does good at the different new stories. You know, with Doom being on Mars, but demons, alien things. You know, you get the gist. But you go throughout the world, you get cars, another thing that is very similar to Mad Max. You get cars, and you do races, you upgrade your cars, you upgrade your weapons, you upgrade your armor. It's actually pretty open. It's an open world game that you go here to there, do your own thing, you know, do missions, do side missions. There's some towns that you can visit. One cool thing, John Goodman's in this game. I love John Goodman. Monsters Inc., The Righteous Gemstones, Cloverfield Lane, The Big Lebowski. He's awesome, and he's in this game. So you can get iOS gameplay and John Goodman. What else can you ask for? That's all you need. And cars. Mad Max John Good iOS. That's what the title of this video should be. With it being released on phones, I'll just say, as I said before, I don't have any clue of how it was released on phones, but this game for 2011 looks pretty good, and it has good physics, it has good driving, it has good controls. It's not a terrible game. I really enjoyed this game, and I don't know why it's not as known, I guess. I feel like I see a lot of people saying, whoa, is this game good? And it's Rage, and it's like, yeah, how has not more people known about a Bethesda-published, ID-developed game about an apocalypse that has a sequel? The sequel's okay. The sequel feels more like what they're doing with Doom. I don't know. It feels like your generic, what I'd call ID game. That's Rage 2, but Rage was really different for the ID games at the time, and it was kind of different for the first-person shooter games at the time. It feels like they were going for as graphically intensive as 2011 can get, with the bloom way up, and this game was just trying to give a good game, in my opinion. That's how it feels. But yeah, I enjoyed the game. If you know ID, as I said, they released Doom and they released Wolfenstein, and in my opinion, I feel like, I don't know, I need to look into it, but I'm gonna bring in some knowledge to y'all. There is what I call, and what a lot of people call, an ID verse, and you might be like, oh, this is another Ubiverse or another Dying Light, Dead Island universe, but there is a connected universe between the ID games like Doom, Wolfenstein, and, you know, I don't know about Rage. I know Commander Kane is one of them, and I'm going to say something that a lot of you probably don't know. You know, Billy Blazkowicz from Wolfenstein is Doom Guy's great-grandfather, or great-great whatever. I bet you guys didn't know that. And that's a thing. And I'll make a whole ID-verse video if I have to. And I'm planning on it, actually. Not if I have to, I'm going to. Because that is a good story. And honestly, there's not much I can say else about Rage. This video's longer than I wanted it to be. I keep stumbling my words and re-recording things, and I don't really feel like going on anymore. If you guys enjoyed, you already know what to do. Throw your comments down below and let me know what you enjoyed and what you did not enjoy. And if you want to see more videos, let me know what you want to see. And then also, if you want to see more videos, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, because it keeps you up to date and it helps me know that you want the videos. Don't forget to check out BillyTheWhip.com or just Billy the Whip on any music platform for some awesome new music. If you wait just like 10 or 15 more seconds, you're going to hear the music. So I'll just speed this up. You know, have a great day.
The flames growing, flow water is flowing, no paddle still rowing, can't reap without sowing, ain't no cut without mowing, ain't loaning no tricks, holding my hand until I'm closing, but I'm rolling down this hill like the rocks I've been throwing, zoning out my zone, but I'm never slowing.